Okay, so for those that just want the news very quickly, basically Ermac's trailer drops tomorrow at 6 a.m. PT. So make sure to translate that to your time zone and then expect the trailer then for you. We also got this new intro between Kung Lao and Ermac, but for those that just want to see it and see the news, here it is.
One of our souls was a suitor for Madame Bo.
How many secrets does that woman have?
Alright, and that is pretty much the news for the day. Expect Ermac's trailer tomorrow, and that's the new intro. So, yeah, stay safe, stay hydrated, and I'll see you guys in the next one. But for those that want to hear me talk about it, let's go ahead and do that. Now, this video, I have a ton of things I want to cover here, so things will be timestamped. So let's go ahead and cover the intro first and the Madame Bo aspect of it. Because I feel some people obviously saw both of these intros and were like, okay, they're kind of silly, they're not really important. But for me personally, I do like tearing these things apart and trying to understand them and why they exist, right? And so I do want to do that here as well.
One of our souls was a suitor for Madame Bo.
Okay, so one of the souls within Ermac was a suitor for Madame Bo. That already kind of like directly goes against the intro from yesterday, which is Ermac and Kenshi, of course, where he tells Kenshi that Outworld souls cannot live in an Earthrealm blade. But then here, he's like, you know, somebody from Outworld that lives within me was actually with a well-renowned Earthrealm baddie, Madame Bo. But it does tie into a few things that do make it interesting. So for one, it ties into that gag where Kung Lao always learns about Madame Bo, so let me let this finish.
How many secrets does that woman have?
So that's like, you know, this big ongoing gag, which she also has in this intro. But there's another part of this intro that is kind of important to Madame Bo as well, which is why I want to pull it up. So shout out to Gamer's Little Playground for posting this, but let me go ahead and let it play.
Did you know that Madame Bo was once Lin Kuei?
What? I want details.
So this of course ties into the gag like I had explained with Kung Lao learning that stuff, but also says that Madame Bo was ex-Lin Kuei. So that could possibly be, you know, in my mind, why she was able to be with somebody who lives within Ermac, of course, why they were her suitor. Because if Madame Bo was Lin Kuei and worked for Liu Kang for however many years, maybe they traveled the realms or did things within Outworld, because the Outworld and Earthrealm overlap in this timeline is very weird. Like, we can't really tell who's been where, who's done what, who has seen what. When we see characters in MK1 go to the tournament in Outworld, of course, a lot of them haven't been there, or most of them haven't been there yet. We also know that the Lin Kuei can't actually participate in these tournaments. But Madame Bo being ex-Lin Kuei, knowing about like the task in Chapter 1, all of that, does tie into this bigger thing that she just has a bigger status. And that's why she was able to interact with someone from Outworld. It could also be as simple as somebody from the tournament when they were having it in Earthrealm, you know, mingled with Madame Bo and then things happened. But who knows? That person also would have died by this point. But the tournaments do have a big gap in between them still. We know that from intros in the game as well, so I don't know. Maybe Madame Bo's age doesn't leave it to where she could have been to multiple tournaments, but maybe she was, and that's why this is what it is. But anyway, I'm probably taking it way too out of proportion. But anyway, right? Earthrealm person was with Outworld person. It doesn't really happen often. But then with that, we also have Mavado, which is the other person I do want to talk about. I think that was it for Madame Bo. I believe so. I have like a much bigger covering all the aspects of Madame Bo video I want to do, so that's why I thought this was kind of important to mention and talk about. But anyway, so Mavado, you know, big boy Mavado, we do got to talk about him. We do have to. Let's cover the looks first. So, you know, never do this. I never advise anyone to do this, but I'm going to open up my bookmarks on a public YouTube video. You know, don't do this unless you know what you got in here, like me. Like this. Mavado, don't end the Kameo roster like that. You know, if I do say so myself, he is ending them. You know, I fear that that is what is happening. That is the case. But shout out to Ellie for that tweet. I just wanted to save a few about Mavado. I do actually have another one. They're starting to annoy me saying that he has nunchucks. So basically in my last video, and some other people on Twitter and many others I'm sure, I came to like the, not conclusion, but assumption or guess that he had nunchucks here. Because in the video itself, I don't actually mention what he has because I'm not sure. I'm like, this isn't the, you know, Cabal hooks. This isn't, I don't know, like what could it be? And then I had a little pop-up of text in post-editing saying that it could be nunchucks. But a huge shout out to T for pointing out that this is indeed, or does seem to be indeed, his cords. He has had these red cords, of course, before, And so I think that's interesting to see those be actually utilized here, opposed to the actual hooks themselves. But if they want to use this exact Mavado, like in this timeline, and they don't want to tie it to Cabal or anything like that, then that would make sense to take that away from him, which I will talk about here as well, because he does have some lore stuff that, albeit isn't much, but could give us more to talk about with him in the new era. Because I always like giving the possibility or talking about the possibilities rather than not, right? Because yeah, sure, is this probably just going to be a cameo character that has nothing to do with the story mode? Probably, but can I have fun? Please let me have fun, maybe? Okay, so huge shout out to MK Ice and Fire for these intros, but look at this intro right here.
Word on the street is Mavado is in Sundo.
Do not attempt to capture him alone, Li Mei.
Okay, so word on the streets. Okay, guys, you know, you didn't hear it from me. You didn't hear it from me. You guys actually heard it from Li Mei. But word on the street is that Mavado is in Sundo. So I guess ultimately that doesn't matter. They could definitely never touch Mavado actually and put him in the story mode. True. But the fact that he doesn't have the hooks, I don't know, maybe they're trying to make him unique and have his own identity in the new era. Not really, but I don't know. I think it's cool to mention that he could be there in the story. And the fact that they know who he is, like the fact that Li Mei and Katana both were aware of Mavado's existence prior to this conversation, is like, okay, for one, why is he in Outworld? You know, the Red Dragon has always been, unless I'm forgetting, am I dumb? I think it's Earthrealm. I believe the Red Dragon has always resided in Earthrealm, I think. Hopefully I'm right there and I'm not like fake fan moment, but so it's interesting that he's in Sundo, which is of course the capital of Outworld in the new era. So could he be invading Outworld? Is realm traveling like much easier to do now with like the access of portals and stuff? Like did that stuff get leaked? I don't know. Because Liu Kang is choosing to not tell people of the different realms. So maybe Mavado knows about that, maybe the Red Dragon does. Same thing with the Black Dragon, which also exists in this timeline. Which Kenshi has mentioned, of course. So in Earthrealm, there still could be these different levels of politics going on, or different battles and groups of people that have disagreements with things. So there could be like this Black Dragon SF situation with the Red Dragon and maybe, you know, the Outworld Army or the Outworld Militia. Because maybe Mavado and the Red Dragon don't have anything to do with General Shao or Shang Tsung or Bihan or any of them, and is his own entire entity invading Outworld as well. So then that thing could just become much more muddy. The Outworld like problems could start to multiply. And that's already on top of Tarkat and all these other things going on. But anyway, I think it's cool to mention that Mavado could be there. You know, he could be a threat in the future. Doubt it, but I would love to see it happen. And I'd rather talk about the possibility and it not happening than never mention it and then Mavado just like falls into obscurity. I wouldn't want that to happen. I think they have a lot of potential for every character in MK1, especially in the new era. But we'll see what they do there. Again, shout out to T. Shout out to Ellie as well. Yeah, shout out to Ellie. I do enjoy Mavado's design. I think I've seen a few people a bit out of pocket calling him ugly. You know, I understand if he's not for everybody, but this is not an ugly man. I'm sorry. I think that you're picking and choosing a bit too much there. Okay, we're not going to be in our Delulu arc. Mavado is attractive, but I'm excited. You know, the attractiveness doesn't determine that. The fact that I can, in a week from now or however long, hop on and play with Mavado is insane. Like, I can see what his different cameo moves are going to be all these years later. And like, that alone gives me so much excitement. And I'm the lore guy, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not a god getting Elder God every season or something, but the fact that I can play with these 3D era characters fully realized again is something I'm always going to be excited for. And I think they kind of undersell the 3D era characters returning a lot. Like, they only think people care about the arcade stuff. Like, please, for the love of God, I'm begging here, pleading on my knees, can you please do more 3D era stuff? Thank you. But yeah, on top of that, can we have a moment of silence for Janet and Peacemaker, please? Alright, yeah, thank you. No, I'm kidding. It's just that this release already feels very important, very exciting. Maybe that's because it's Ermac, you know, and Mavado, right? Characters that haven't been here in a while. Ermac less so, but still. And Peacemaker is John Cena. I was really excited for him, and I also love Janet, but just like, you can really feel the shift from it being a guest character and not a guest character. In the community, you can feel that. At least I think so. Maybe that's just me. But, you know, I'm excited for updates in this game. I think that people need to stop holding it to where it can't get any better and it's only going to be bad. I think that people need to start letting the updates speak for themselves, opposed to just being like, okay, dead game, it's never going to get any better. We'll see what happens. Okay, so Ed Boon did this whole thread with the Ermac post that I do want to go over in this video with you guys here. So we'll just go ahead and read it. I haven't read any of this yet. and I didn't really go through it because I woke up, saw that it was there, and I was like, okay, I'll make a video about it sometime today. And it's been a busy day, but so here we go. So 30 plus years ago, we were working on the very first Mortal Kombat game. The game software had sections of code that it theoretically should never reach or execute. If it did, it incremented a counter that would log the error. We also made a game audit screen where we could check this counter in arcades. Okay, interesting. To keep each log short, I wrote an assembler macro that would call all the necessary functions in one line of code. The macro was called Ermac, short for error macro. Okay. Unfortunately or fortunately, we listed the number of Ermacs that occurred directly after the log/number of times players fought against Reptile, who was a hidden fighter in the first Mortal Kombat. This, of course, made players speculate that Ermac was another hidden character. Like Reptile, soon rumors of Ermac became stuff of legend, with players insisting they fought against him. They didn't. In Mortal Kombat 2, we made Reptile a playable fighter, and added 3 new hidden fighters, Smoke, Jade, and Noob Saibot. But some players were still looking for Ermac. For MK3, we decided to turn some of the myths into reality, starting with animalities. Finally, in Ultimate MK3 running out of colors, we finally added Ermac as an actual red ninja fighter in the roster. Over the years, he has made a number of appearances in MK games. Now he has a full story/history and is part of the MK lore. We never, as in ever, would have guessed this red ninja with a ridiculous name would end up such a big part of MK's history, and still be kicking over 30 years later. But here we are as he is about to join the roster of Mortal Kombat 1. Gameplay trailer this week. Okay, so I mean, yeah, that's the history of Ermac. A lot of people know this, a lot of people don't. There's even an Easter egg in MK1 for the error macro with Johnny Cage's fatal blow. But yeah, this is a classic story, and there's so many like this. Like he even mentioned here with like rumors and stuff like that in Mortal Kombat being realized eventually. So it's really exciting to see. But there's more to this thread, so let's see what else is here. So here is the game audit screen from the original Mortal Kombat arcade game. Yeah, so there's the game audit screen. You guys can get a good look there. Decades later, Ermac has become a staple in Mortal Kombat's history, often appearing as cosplay at conventions. Yeah, very true, very true. Fan favorite, that's for sure. Some players love Ermac so much that they put tattoos on their body of him. That's dedication. Oh, ew, gross. Why are you, what? Okay, chat, hold up. I'm gonna open up these replies. If they go how I think they're going to go, thank you, MK community. Yeah, thank God. Okay, the world is healing. Thank you. Wow, okay, well, nice. I was like, are we about to let this happen without mentioning what had just unfolded? Okay. You know, I'm sure it's a good interview. I'm sure Ed Boon says some interesting stuff. But I'd rather not watch something from Total MK. You're a weirdo. I don't really want to see anything from you. But I think this is really cool. The fact that Ed Boon made this whole thread talking about this, you can feel the love in Ermac, of course, and you can feel that there's excitement because he is an MK character being brought back after missing a game, right? He wasn't in MK11 playable. So the fact that he is returning and he is a fan favorite in the new era, you know, like it's actually exciting. And I feel like this could have been done for every character in MK1. Like it sucks that this isn't the treatment every DLC character release gets. Like Quan Chi still had some tweets, of course. Peacemaker is a guest character, so it's different. But what I'm trying to say is just I feel every game, or excuse me, every release of a character should feel like this monumental event. There should never be a release in Mortal Kombat that's like, oh, that's a wet noodle. Like they gotta stop doing that. Like they gotta work on that for sure. But there's that Ermac thread. Oh, here's Unruly with a cosplay. That's sick. Like I'm just excited. Like Ermac does scream old MK to me, or just like classic MK. He has that vibe, right? That feel. He is Ermac after all. So I do want to see everything they do with him. Hopefully this ends up being a good update rather than not. And Ermac's patch and all that comes with him. And the Invasion Season 2, let me say that. Actually, let me not say that. I don't want to jinx it. I don't know. Hopefully Ermac's, hopefully Raiden's season is garbage or something. I don't know. Can we do some reverse psychology? NetherRealm, I don't want you to work on Raiden's season and give us faithful palettes to his character. That would really suck. I wouldn't want you guys to do that. But yeah. With that said, I'm pretty sure that's it. This will be timestamped again. It was a few random topics. So we had the Madame Bo topic, the Mavado topic, and then, you know, this whole thread here. Be ready for Ermac's trailer tomorrow. Be excited for Mavado. I'm excited for him. I can't wait to try him out and see what he's about. Maybe I'll stream for the trailer, maybe. If not, I'll do a reaction. So we'll see all what happens. But yeah, with that said, basically it. Go stream some New Jeans, and ladies, gentlemen, and MB beauties, I will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.